goals that you set and where you are headed in that. Like my man said, I have the great privilege of getting to work every day with athletic departments and athletes across the state of Texas and across the United States of America. And I have one very simple goal. Now, I'm a Fighting Texas Aggie. If you're not from Texas, what that means is we like to keep things real simple down here. And as a Fighting Texas Aggie, they're real simple. And I believe there's one idea that drives everything I do. The reason I'm standing here on a dugout in Frisco, Texas, talking to you tonight is I believe this one simple idea. Championship people win championships. But the greater your character, the more successful you'll be in the game of life. I'll put it to you like this, that you'll be limited in life by your character long before you will your talent. But you could have $1 million worth of talent, but if you have a $10 crap character, the weight of your talent is going to crush your foundation, and you're going to forfeit your dreams. You're going to miss out on everything that you've worked for and sacrificed for, that which you could become because your character could not hold the weight of your talent. That's what ESPN 30 for 30 is all about. It's this one simple series where it shows people who had once-in-a-generation talent, crap character, and they were disqualified. It fell with my heart more than anything else. I don't want you to be disqualified from that which you can become. I believe that you are worth reaching the fullness of your creative potential. But you won't get there by throwing a ball fast alone. You won't get there by being able to hit a ball better than anybody else alone. You won't get there because you're a great baseball player. You want to reach the fullness of your creative potential, it's going to happen because you have a championship character. That you, as hard as you work on your talents, as hard and as fast as you run after your talent, you run even harder and even faster after your character. Never let your talent outrun your character. There was one thing I would ask you to remember from tonight and give you that one simple idea. Never let your talent outrun your character. Does that mean go back? Does that mean I can't work hard on character? Does that mean I can't work hard on my talent? Does that mean that we don't want to win? Absolutely. I love to win. I love to win so much. I slam dunk with my 10-year-old. No question asked. I will dunk on him all day. And I want you to love to win. Winning is fun. You know that sucks to lose? It sucks to lose. It is fun to win. But I want you to win at what matters most. If you owe through this program, the teams you play on, between now and the time you graduate high school, get to college, if you only learn how to be good at baseball, you've wasted all of this time. Life, there's more to life than baseball. Now, you can learn how to be successful in the game of life through baseball. So long as baseball is all there is, you're going to miss out in not only the game of life, but you won't reach the fullness of what you can do in the game of baseball. So when we talk about character, I say I want you to have a championship character. Here's what I mean. I call them the 6 pillars. These 6 ideas. I believe, and as I've seen, I work with teams from Clemson football a month ago, OU, schools across the country. We talk about this idea of championship people win championships. They say, Matt, when you say character, what is it that you mean? Here's what I mean. If you have your phones on, take your phones out. Open up your notes app. I want you to write these down. All right, so as we talk, that this is really the beginning. This is one piece. Because one of the things the reason I'm here, one of the reasons I'm most excited is that coming out of this event, starting on Monday, we're going to make available to you a monthly Zoom call. We're going to do mental performance, leadership performance, character performance, and then we'll have a monthly call available. This is the beginning, and then once a month for the rest of the school year, we're going to have to be, and we'll be together. And so I'm looking forward to that. But this is the beginning. So I want you to write down what I call the 6 pillars of a championship character. Number 1, tough people win. The 6 pillars of a championship character. Tough people win. Integrity over everything. Number 3, growth follows belief. Number 4, excellence everywhere. Number 5, relentless effort. Number 6, service before self. I'll say it again. Tough people win. integrity over everything. Growth follows belief. Excellence everywhere. Relentless effort and service before self. Let's talk about it. We say tough people win. Toughness is not defined by being bigger and badder than John Wayne, grab a rattlesnake by the tail, pop his head off, kind of West Texas tough. When I talk about toughness, what I mean is this simple idea, eyes on me. When I talk about toughness, it's this idea that you understand and know your value and your worth. Because when you know something is valuable, when you know something is worth it, then you'll do whatever it takes to achieve it or to protect it. Right? I think about my kids. I have 4 kids. My son Harrison is 10. I told you about him, done him on a daily. He's tough love, still love in my house. All right? My daughter Jane, she's 8. Call her my love. She's got me wrapped around every finger and toe. My son Porter, we call him our joy. He's 4 because he's always got a joke. He never got clothes on, but he's always got a joke. Run around butt naked, big old head, little booty, just free range, takes the chickens out of the country. And then my son Jack, he's 2. We call him our gift. Hey, y'all know what I'm talking about. Anyway, and so how many of you think you're your parents' favorite kid? And how many of you are an only child? Yeah, which means you're also their least favorite kid, by the way. Anyway, I don't have a favorite kid, all right, because I'm a good dad. But my daughter, Jane, she is my favorite. And so when I think about my kids, I'm like, there's nothing I wouldn't do for my kids. Like, I would storm the gates of hell with the Super Soaker 9000 for my kids. Does not matter what it takes, I will do to protect my kids. Why? Because they're worth it to me. Like, when you know something is worth it, you do whatever it takes. You think about that. You get that new iPhone, like the iPhone 14, Pro Max XZ or whatever they call it. And you get that new, boy, you get the case on it, right? And you think, I'm going to go like dad, get the hip clip. Do it for you. You just kind of use the whole, you don't care, right? You throw it on the ground. You don't treat it right because it's not worth it to you, right? When you understand the value of something, take it more seriously. You work harder for it. You fight more for it. And when you understand that you are worth the work, that you're valuable, that you are not worth it because you're good at baseball. I don't give 2 rips about how good you are at baseball. Your worth and your value is not found in your stats, in your recruiting letter, whether you're getting drafted coming out of high school. None of that determines your value. Your value and your worth is found in the fact that there's breath in your lungs. That you are worth the work because you're here, not because of how good you are. And the moment you get that I'm not worth it because I'm better than someone else, I'm worth it because I'm worth it, then that unlocks a work ethic and a level of sacrifice, a willingness to sacrifice, unlike anything you've ever seen. When you realize you are worth the work, it doesn't matter between what's here, what's between where you are and where you want to be. You'll do whatever it takes. Got to wake up early? I'm worth that. Got to stay up late? I'm worth it. Got to travel across country, do my homework on an airplane? I'm worth the work. You start working out of a sense of pride instead of a place of shame. Here's what I want you to get, fellas. When you understand your value and worth, you work from a place of pride. When you don't understand your value and worth, when you think you are only worth it because of your stats, you start working from a place of shame. And you will never shame yourself into growth. Here's what I mean. How many of you, when you make a mistake, start cussing yourself out? Raise your hand. Anybody do it? Yup. We're all there. You make a mistake. Stupid. And you start cutting. You say your worst language in life for you when you make a mistake. Now let me ask you, when you do that, does it really help you get that much better? Does it help you pull out? You start using the negative self-talk. Start cussing yourself out. Does it really hype you up to the point that you start pitching better? That you let go of that last bad at bat and you come? Does it do any good for you? No. What does it do? It spirals you down deeper and deeper and deeper. You start going, man, I'm only worth it when I play well. You're great when you play well, but when you go up against somebody that's a little bit better and they get in your head, then all of a sudden you do this number. And you start riding the roller coaster. Anybody know what I'm talking about? Nod your head if you've been there. We start riding the roller coaster. And as long as I'm doing good, I'm feeling great. I'll work hard. I'll sacrifice. But man, if I start playing bad, I start throwing my glove like it's my glove's fault. I throw the helmet down on the ground like it's the helmet's fault. I struck out. Yup. This is the power of understanding your value and worth. Your value and worth isn't determined by what you do right there. should get that. All of a sudden, you make a mistake. You know what? I made a mistake. I'm not a mistake. I lost. I'm not a loser. My value and worth isn't determined by that. Every one of us has 3 questions in our lives. Who am I? Where do I belong? And why am I here? Identity, belonging, and purpose. When we start answering those questions, by what we do right there, start doing this. And when we're here, we try to shame ourselves to get back up here, and it never works. But when you start going, you know, who am I? I'm not defined. I play baseball. I am not a baseball player. That's not who I am. You start finding your value and worth in something bigger than yourself. In your family tradition, your faith tradition, in your purpose, something bigger than you. When you realize that you belong, not because of how good you are, you belong because you work. All of a sudden, you realize your value and worth. You get tough people. I'll tell you right now, the toughest people are the ones that know their value and worth. That's a sense of pride. I'd be willing to bet that if I asked you, hey, what'd you do wrong this week? You could give me a laundry list of things that you did wrong, where you fell short, where you screwed up. But if I asked you to say, hey, what are you proud of this week? It'd be a lot harder to answer, wouldn't it? Mom, Dad, 3 questions you need to ask your sons. I want you to write these down. Y'all didn't know y'all were in on this. Hello, I've been looking at them right here. No, we're in this right now. 3 questions. When you're driving home from a game, 3 questions at the end of a week. 3 questions that matter. What are you proud of? What surprised you? And what did you learn this week that you want to put into practice next week? Fellas, I'd write those down for you as well. I call this a meaningful check-in. This is how you can check in and make sure that you're playing from pride and not from shame. The question, what am I proud of? As I mentioned, it's hard for them to answer. It's hard for us to answer. We don't want to feel cocky. Right? We don't get big-headed. But listen, when we are the right size, that sense of pride about the work that I'm doing, to go, man, it's not just where I'm going, but it's where I've been, where I've come from. I can be proud of that. That will drive growth more than anything else. So what are you proud of? What surprised you? This question invites us to be curious about what's going on in our life. To not have to have all the right answers. To not have to say, yes, I already knew what was coming already. What surprised you? And I was actually kind of surprised at how well they played. I was surprised at the fans. I was surprised. You don't have to be right all the time. Sometimes we think as leaders, we have to have all the answers. Nonsense. So we just have to be curious. Right? So what surprised you? And then number 3, what did you learn this week that you want to put into practice next week? The wording of that matters. What we're going to default is to say, what I do wrong this week that I want to get right next week. That's not the way we want to roll. We want to say, what did I learn this week? Because now that this week is in the past, its only usefulness to me, whether I did my best or my worst, I won or I lost, is as a classroom. What did I learn this week? And I can learn from my best, I can learn from my worst, but I want to put in practice next week. Right? Those are 3 questions. I call it a meaningful check-in. Right? And as parents, 3 things you can say to your students when you're done. I love you, I'm proud of you, and I love to watch you play. They don't need you to coach them. They don't need you to point out all the things, put more pressure. They put enough pressure on themselves. They don't need more pressure from you. I love you, I'm proud of you, and I love to watch you play. Tough people win. We value more. Number 2, integrity over everything. This idea that the measure of a man is what they do when it costs them more to do right than it does to do wrong. The measure of a man, not your stats, not your love, not your numbers, not your grades, not your money, not the house, not the truck, not the car. The measure of a man is what you do. Are you willing to do right when it costs you more to do right than it does to do wrong? And the reality is that we live in a world that is desperate, in a desperate shortage of integrity. When you think about the kind of teammates that you want on your team, the kind of people that you want to work with, the the kind of people you want to play with, go to battle with. I would ask you, man, describe to me the perfect teammate. When I do this again and again, what I hear is, I want a teammate that's accountable, dependable, hardworking, trustworthy. Tell me all these ideas about a teammate that have everything to do with character. Things that take zero talent to have. You could be the worst baseball player to ever play the game, and you can still be a hard worker. You could be the slowest guy to ever run from home to first, and you can still have great integrity. You can be dependable. This idea, integrity over everything. It's one decision that makes all others. That in any given situation, choose the harder right over the easier wrong. Too often what happens is we try to have a relative. We say, well, what's going on right here? And how many people are doing right? How many people are doing wrong? If I step out, am I going to be the only one doing this? See, great character says it doesn't matter what anyone else is doing. What's the old quote? Right is right, even if no one is doing it. Wrong is wrong, even if everyone's doing it. Think about the kind of man that you want to be. Man of integrity. This is where you begin to see that character makes you a better baseball player. Because when you have integrity, you say, hey, look, I made a commitment to my team. I made a commitment to my goals. And I said, this year I'm going to fill in the blank. I'm going to get recruited. I'm going to make this team. I'm going to have this is my goal. Then by your integrity, you recognize I got to do the work. And I'm going to keep my word to myself and to my team to do what is required to reach this goal. A lot of times we'll make these commitments to goals, to our teammates, when the cost is low and the motivation is high, right? It doesn't cost you anything to make a goal. It doesn't cost you anything to give your word to something. The measure of person you start to see is when do they keep their word when the motivation is low and the cost is high. Who are we men? I want you to be the kind of men whose word means something. And you can learn to do that in the game of baseball. And when I make a commitment to a goal, I do whatever it takes to reach that goal because I said I would. You get that rep in baseball, sets you up in the game of life. Too many people know what it's like to have a father figure, to have a father not keep his word. I would do something, and then he didn't keep his word. I don't want that for you. I don't want you to be that man. I want you to be the one whose word means something. And so you choose the smallest ways to build the integrity muscle. A simple rep. Do this tomorrow morning. Tell yourself a time you're going to wake up. You do this in school all the time. I already know you do. You set your alarm for 6 o'clock, and then you got about 3 or 4 other alarms. How many of you have multiple alarms? Set it in. Yep, you already know, right? Wake up at 6, and then 6:15, and then 6:25, and then 6:33. That's the last minute you can get out of bed before you're going to be late. You got all these alarms. Simple integrity rep. Make a commitment to yourself. You look yourself in the eye at night. I'm going to wake up at 6:02. When that alarm goes off at 6:02, don't snooze it. Don't wait for the alarm at 6:05. Just told yourself 6:02. Get up at 6:02. You say, Mac, what does that mean? Like, what does that do? How does that make you a better baseball player? It gets you one simple rep of integrity. I remember, look, I bench pressed 515 pounds one day. And before I got to bench press 500 plus pounds, you know what I had to do? I had to bench press 135. Before I could bench press 135 more than most of y'all, I had to, you see what I'm saying? We had to, he got it, I just looked at it, he's like, hey man, that's messed up, man. Now, anyway, before you can be great at the big, you can't keep your word to wake up at 6:02, how you gonna keep your word to y'all 6? You can't keep your word to wake up at 6:02, how you gonna keep your word to take care of your mom when you make it to the bigs? Success, power, money, all that stuff, fame, all it does is reveal who you are. It doesn't make you who you are. So you build a foundation of integrity over all others. When the success comes, and the money comes, and the fame comes, you have something firm to stand on. Number 3, growth follows belief. That what you allow when you're here will travel the 18 inches from your ear to your heart, take root in your heart, and come to life in your hands. That what you believe is what will come true. Where you focus, you finish. Another way to put the same idea. If you think you You say, yes, I can. You start with yes, you'll find all the reasons you can do something. You start with no, though, you'll find all the reasons you can't do something. What we believe determines what we do. And what we do determines what becomes true. And so I might just encourage you and ask the question, are you an over-believer in yourself? Are you an over-believer in your dream? Are you an under-believer? I'm going to be honest with you. I work with enough athletes to know that there are some of you out here who, even though you have great talent, you are an under-believer in yourself. Like you are so terrified of becoming, of not becoming who you think everyone else expects you to be, that it's easier to self-sabotage yourself. I can't do this. And then when you get up and say, I told you I can't do it. And I've tried it. Look, I just can't. Believe you can, so you find all you because you don't want it. Because the pressure is too great. Listen to me, you're worth believing. You're worth believing. Believe that you can become more than even you think you can become. Because what happens when I believe big, then I start acting big. And I start doing big. And then big begins to grow. And so it's a simple idea. Look, I'm going to be an over-believer. Does that mean that I'm cocky? Absolutely not. I'm the right size. That's the power of humility. Is it keeps you the right size. Comparison will make you too big or too small. You say, I'm better than that guy, makes you feel too big. You say, I'm not as good as that guy, makes you too small. That's comparison. But humility will keep you the right size. And it says, look, man, when I gotta be big, I'm big. When I need to be small, I'm small. I'm always be the right size. Being that right size, you know what? Because I know who I am, I don't have to prove it. So I have to go do the work. I just want you to believe in me. And that sense of belief, right, allows you then to go, hey, I want to go be great, not just for me, but I want to go be great for my family. I want to go great for my teammates. And then all of a sudden, you start making an impact. It all begins with belief. Here's the evidence of your belief in yourself and in others. It's how I go, hey, what's the measure of belief in somebody? It's how great it encourages you. In fact, when I stood in front of Clemson football a month ago, I told them, I said, fellas, there's only one thing I would ask that you do. If I can only get one thing, Coach gave me 30 seconds, one trait to describe a great leader that I would want to give to you. I would say that it's that you would be an elite encourager. Because encouragement is the evidence of belief. You believe in yourself when you look at yourself in the mirror, you don't see all the things that are wrong with you. See what can be right. Does that mean that you don't make changes? Of course not. Does that mean you lie to yourself about what you did wrong? Of course not. Some of the most encouraging things you can ever do is tell somebody the truth. You believe in yourself, you see the best in yourself, not the worst. You believe in your teammates, you see the best in them, not the worst in them. And then you'll become a great encourager in your words and in your actions, in the way that you treat people. All because you believe in them. I can have one thing for you, that you be an elite encourager. This comes out of belief. Tough people win. Integrity over everything. Growth follows belief. Excellence everywhere. Very quickly, number 4. This idea that I would give the best of me to the best of whoever or whatever is in front of me, regardless of what is around me. Say it again. The excellence is that I'm going to give the best of me to the best of whatever's in front of me, regardless of what is around me. All right? So that means in any given situation, this right here, hey, what's my best intention right here? What's my best body language? My best note-taking? What's my best learning right here? This is where you are. And not just how can I give my best that I might learn it and exploit it for myself, but how can I give my best body language as an encouragement to that ridiculously good-looking bearded man on top of the dugout that he might keep bringing the juice, that I might be able to take this and go serve my teammates. We don't want to exploit our best for our own gain. We deploy our best for the good of others. That's an upside-down way of living. That's servant leadership when we talk about it, but it's a secret to life. To say, how can I get the best of me in the weight room, on the field? When you strike out, when you strike out looking, what's the best of me in that moment? Is the best of me to throw the helmet and cuss and chew myself out all the way back to the dugout? Not really. All right, the best of me in that moment is to sit here and go, all right, what can I tell my teammate who's stepping up to the plate about what I just learned at that? Because in that moment, I can learn something. The best of me right there is to give service to my team. And there will be days that your best is not 100%. You got to understand this. All of you think, hey, if I'm my best all time, if I'm 100 out of 100, then I'll give 100%. But if I'm 60 out of 100, you know what? I'm just going to phone it in. I'm not having a good day. I'm just going to go through the motion. You ever been there? You just happen to wake up on the wrong side of bed, right? Your little brother ate all the marshmallows at your Lucky Charms. You're having a bad day. You're like, you know what? I'm just going to phone it in. Excellence says that I'm going to give 100% of my 60 because that's all that I got. And then tomorrow I may be at 70, and so I'm going to give 100% of my 70. And hey, on Wednesday I might be 100, so I'm going to give 100 out of my 100. Whatever I have in any situation I'm in, I want to give the 100% of that. That's excellence. And that, fellas, is attainable. Perfection is not. To be 10 out of 10, 10 days out of 10 is not attainable. It's a myth and a lie, and you will kill yourself trying to reach it. But what is attainable is excellence. Because excellence is not defined by never making a mistake or getting it wrong. It's defined by your preparation, by your effort, and by living by your integrity to give the best of you whatever you have in this situation. That's something you can attain. Excellence. And to have it in every area of your life. To say that there's no place that is too small for me not to give my excellence. Why? Because you get great at what you get reps at. And if you want to be great at bouncing back when something goes wrong here, be great at being patient at the McDonald's when the old girl will give you chicken nuggets, she get your order wrong. She gives you sweet sauce instead of barbecue sauce. Instead of blowing up, man, it's stupid girl, she can't even get my order right. Hey man, that's a human being right there. She's got hopes and dreams too. Well, let's practice being patient right here. The best of me in this moment is to be patient and to be kind and respectful. That's a rep right there. That's a rep. It's an excellence rep. Number 5, relentless effort. But the evidence of your commitment to your goals is the way that you do what you do. Like how you do what you do matters. Like you bring the juice, and it matters. Because if you're juiceless, you're useless. All right? So you gotta show it with the juice. You show it a sense of want to about you. Wake up in the morning. Boy, your feet hit the ground with a sense of purpose in the morning. It's a gift to get to play a game. It's a gift to get to be here. There's a million kids across this world that would give anything to be right where you're sitting. Some of you, man, y'all just used to this. This is what you do all the time. So it ain't nothing special, man. They just open up stadiums for you all the time. And you just sit back and realize, wait a minute, man, what a gift this is. What a privilege this is to get to be here in this moment. And you show up and go, you know what? I'm not just going to go through this, through the motions. I'm going to bring the juice right here. You get to sit down, have a meal with your parents. You know what, man? I'm going to bring the juice in that. I'm not going to sit here and do this number while I'm talking to mom and dad. Because let me tell you, 1 year ago, almost to the day, I buried my mom. Spoke at a funeral. Left. 2 months, 5 days later, I buried my dad. Preached his funeral. Life is short, fellas. The gift that you have to get to be with your parents, you'll never get that back. I wanted to text my parents this morning. My daughter got an award at school. Can't do it. It's the gift. Gratitude has a way of making you bring better energy to what you do. Step on the field. It's going to be a grind. It's going to be work. You guys, this is a gift to get to do that work, where you bring some energy and effort. That can't be stopped. Tough people win. Integrity over everything. Growth follows belief. Excellence everywhere. Relentless effort. Fire and stay with me. It's the last one. Service before self. Because I'll put it to you like this. You'll never lose helping other people. Wherever you're at, whatever you do, you're never going to lose helping other people win. We live in this world, especially when you get into sports, there's competition and there's ranking, and we think, hey, I've got to be better than, I got to put them down that I might get up. But listen, here's the reality. You'll never raise yourself up by putting somebody else down. The only way that you raise up is by lifting other people. It's an upside down way of living, but I'm going to tell you it's as true as I'm standing. Because when you get in competition, even on the field, it fuels growth. And so when you step out there and you're giving your best, and you're trying to strike this joker out, like, hey man, I don't want this dude to get a hit on me. I'm going to pitch like I haven't ever pitched in my life. You give your best, that requires him to give his best to be successful. And now your best has served him and raised his best. And his best is serving you by raising your best. And because you're serving one another, even in giving your best, it lifts you both up. As you begin to walk through the game of life, there are going to be givers and there are going to be takers. Those who are takers will never get enough. They'll never have enough money. They'll never have enough status. They'll never have enough power. Never enough friends. Nothing will ever be enough. They'll complain about everything that they have and everything that they don't, even though they're living their dream. Because they're takers. Nothing will ever be enough. But when you're a giver, you have that servant mindset. Here's what happens, fellas. Man, what you have not only becomes enough, but the more that you give, the more that you receive. The more encouragement you give, the more you're going to receive. The more you serve your teammates, the better they're going to be, the more they're going to serve you. That's the power of a team. Because in a team, your success is my success. My success is yours. We're linked. When you realize the same thing is true in the game of life, all of a sudden, you won't serve people because of what they can do for you. You'll serve people because that's just who you are. You find yourself in a spot wherever you go. How can I serve? How can I help? And then you look around, and people are looking at you going, this dude has no reason to be serving me. This dude is the number 3 pitcher in the country. This dude's the best outfielder in the nation right now. Why is he serving me? Because he's a real deal. There ain't no phony in his macaroni. He's a real deal. He's a real kind of dude. And then what that'll do is that'll build trust. Trust is the currency of leadership. The greater the trust that is built up, the more the people will follow. You'll be able to follow. As we talk about, tough people win. Integrity over everything. Growth follows belief. Excellence everywhere. Relentless effort. And service before self. For me, those are the 6 markers of a championship character. That if you want to win, not only in the game of sports, but in the game of life, those 6 things, you become an elite at that, you become unstoppable. It amplifies your talent in sports. And it sets you up to be successful in the game of life. Fellas, I want nothing but the best for you. I want you to be the best baseball players to ever play the game. I hope your names are in the lights. I hope little kids get you jerseys and hope that they're like you one day. But more than that, I hope that you're the kind of man, that you become the kind of man that's worth little kids. You become the kind of young man that's worth some girl falling in love with you. Because they ain't gonna be for you. What you got going on right here? I'm gonna be honest with you. Gotta be for right here. Alright, and I can say that, man, because I was a lineman, so it's big and ugly. So my wife is beautiful, man. We got a great family. It gets better. Anyway. You would be the kind of man that's worth following. And I'm convinced you can learn to be that man through the game of baseball. If you learn the right lessons. You only learn how to play the game, you're not going to learn. You'll be a grown boy who makes a lot of money and is great at the game. If you realize the lessons you can learn here about toughness, finding your value in work, not in your performance, but in who you are, and integrity, and keeping your word, making word commitments that count, building that integrity muscle is something as simple as the time you wake up to keeping your word and your commitments. You become a man of integrity. That you learn how to be an over-believer in yourself and not an under-believer. That you learn to believe in others and you evidence that by the way that you encourage other people and seeing the best in them and not the worst. When you become the kind of person who gives their excellence, their best wherever they go to whoever's in front of them, regardless of what's around. When you're the kind of person that shows up and brings the juice, wherever you're at, whatever you're doing, you just got that effort, that motive, that thing that just keeps you going. When you are a servant leader. Be successful in the game of baseball, be successful in the game of life. So fellas, I'm proud of you. I believe in you. I'm excited for you. And I'm thankful for the opportunity to get to be with you tonight. I know it's been a long day. You've had travel, you've had ball. So I appreciate the respect that you've shown and the way that you paid attention on these last few minutes. A few things for you before we close up and I hand it back over to Brian. All right? So I mentioned at the top, there's going to be a monthly Zoom call. We'll sit down and we'll take topics, not just ideas that I'll bring to the table, but I'll have the opportunity for you guys to send me topics, issues, situations that you're walking through, whether that's on the field, in the classroom, in life, and we'll be able to sit down for an hour and talk about it. It'll be a group Zoom session, And so I want to invite you guys to not only kind of start getting your mind right to know, hey, that's coming, but I want to invite you guys on Monday night, this Monday night, at 7 o'clock. We're going to have the first one. This first one is free, and what we'll do each month is we'll have that 1 hour Zoom. It'll be recorded. If you sign up, then you'll be able to watch it. If you miss it live, you'll be able to watch it. And then I'll have weekly lessons, video lessons, and then workbook lessons that will be based on what we talk about, so that you can, throughout the month, continue to develop in character, leadership, and in mental performance. So if you want to find out about that, Brian, then we'll send an email out on all that. So mom, dad, y'all be getting that. But I'll also send you a text reminder and encouragement throughout the week. If you sign up, and the easiest way to sign up, take your phone out and send a text message. I'm going to give you the number to text, and we'll send you reminders not only of the Zoom calls, but also just encouragement throughout the week. So the number to text is 210-898-9700. 210-898-9700. And you're going to text the word Future Stars. All one word, doesn't matter caps or not. Future Stars to the number 210-898-9700. And you ought to get a message back from me, and then through that, we'll text out reminders and Zooms, information on that, and I'll text you guys encouragement throughout the week and the month to help you build not only a change your character, but to find success in sports and life. And proud of you, a gift to get to be with y'all today. I hope and y'all have a great weekend. As you compete, listen to me. Your eyes right here. As you compete because you believe you are worth it already. Not because of who you'll be after you get a scouting report, or make the team, or prove yourself. You're already there. You're already there. There's nowhere you can go and nothing you can do to become more valuable than you already are. So live life. Play life. You'll have more fun. You'll play better. You'll make better friends. You'll have better results. I guarantee you. Proud of you guys. Let's have a good one this week. Thank y'all so much.
All right, thanks.